We have 100, right? That's our total. And we need two parts. This part and this part. These two parts make up that. So we know that if we have to subtract something from the from the 100 to make 41, then we must have, and we already have the 41, so we have that part. We still need the other part to make up 100. So if you add these two numbers, it has to equal 100. But we will not know that until we subtract. So let's go ahead and subtract 100, and we only have one number, so we don't know what it is, minus 41, and we're going to find out what it is. All right, so we have 10. Because we borrowed from this little guy, we couldn't borrow from him, so we had to borrow from the hundredths place, so it makes it a 9, okay? So 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. So then I have 59, and I can put it, because that's there, because that's the missing number that makes these two parts a whole, which is the total is 100. Let's see if we're right. 59 plus 41 must equal 100 for it to be right. So 51 plus 41, 9 plus 1 is 10. Put your 1 at the top. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So then we have our 100. And yes, we are right. The total was 100. So you got that one right. So please work on the next few and try and see if you can find the correct answer. All right. Now, if you look here, these are already, now this one says adding. So if our total is 100, so see how this one was subtraction? So you subtracted that from this to get the next part. Well, let's look at this one, letter C. So you have 100. You have something plus 63 equals 100. So then go ahead and do your part to whole so that you can see it. And we have 63 is the number we already know. Okay, so something plus 63 equals the 100. But we won't know that until we subtract the 100 and the 63. So let's do that. Here we go. 100 minus 63. Put the biggest number on top. Here, 10. We have to make this a 10 because we can't give 0 M&Ms to 3 people. And we can't borrow from the tens place because he can't give 0 M&Ms to 6 people. So we have to borrow from the hundreds place. Go ahead and mark out both of them because you know it's going to end up being 9. So then we have the 10. The ones place can get the 10 now. All right. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 6 is what? 3. So now we have the number 37. Let's see if 37 plus 63 equals 100. That's the total that we need. So let's add and see if we get the right answer. So we have 63 plus 37. This is adding, don't forget. 3 plus 7 is 10. 6 plus 4, or I said 3 plus 1 in my head, so then I say 6 plus 4 is 10. And yes, it ends up being 100. So that checks out with that. So the number would be 37 here. Okay, I hope that makes sense, and you can do the rest yourself. The next problem is doing the same thing. We're adding and subtracting, but this time we don't do a missing number. This time we're just straightforward adding and subtracting. So I don't like personally to do it this way. My eyes and my brain work better if I look at it top to bottom in the place value. So it just helps when I can organize it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to organize this number top to bottom. So 0 and 108, and then I line it up. I make sure that my 42 is lined up correctly under my tens place and 2 in the ones place. So there I have a plus sign, so I'm going to add. If you can get the right answer going straight across, that's fine. I like to go top to bottom. So in my ones place, I have 8 plus 2. I know that that's 10. I put my little 1 at the top. 4 plus 1 is 5. So I put my 5 here. And then my 1, I bring it down from the hundreds place. So the answer is 150. So that's what this answer would be for this problem. So now I'm going to do a subtraction problem, and that is 486 minus 90. All right. Again, I like to organize my numbers going up and down, making sure that I have my numbers straight going down the ones place, tens place, and hundreds place. Now 6 minus 0 is 6, so I bring my 6 down. 8 minus 9, well, I can't give 8 M&Ms to 9 people, so I have to borrow from the hundreds place. And the hundreds place is always so generous. So he becomes a 3 when he lets the 8 become an 18. Okay? So now, sorry. Okay, get my pencil here. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay, so 18. So now I have the 3 here, and I have the 18 here, and I have the 6 in the ones place. So I've already subtracted down the ones place. Now I'm going to the tens place, and 18 minus 9 is 9. Now, if this is hard for you to know on your own, in your own head, I always like to say that I count up from 9. Okay, so I can say 9. I can use my fingers to help me, and I say 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and I stop at 18, and my fingers, when I read them, there's 9 fingers up. So that's how I can correct myself to make sure that that's the number that I got. Now, in the hundreds place, I have a 3. So I'm going to bring down the 3 because I have nothing to subtract it with. All right, so the answer